Welcome everyone to the Bridging the Gap podcast. I'll be your host, Thaddeus Holmes. This is a podcast about bridging the gap in different communities, households, and schools through different sports. I'd like to take the time now to introduce my first guest / co-host. This guy is a Gary legend. This guy has collected multiple national championships on the AAU circuit. This guy also has collected a state championship with Theo Bowman High School. This guy is also a former Gary Lighthouse coach. This guy is none other than Gary's very own Coach Nick Moore.
Man, appreciate you having me on, man. That sounds like a game day intro, man. Like I'm gonna go, you feel me, coming out the starting five, man. That feels good. I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me here, man. It's definitely a blessing, man. This podcast is gonna be big, man. It's a great idea, bro, for real.
Oh yeah, likewise, man. You already know.
Yes, yeah, sir.
So my first question would be, when you hear Gary, how does that make you feel? When you hear the words, when someone say Gary, what does it feel like?
Yeah, man, when I hear Gary, hometown, hometown athletics, basketball, football, pretty much what my whole life consisted of. Right here in Gary, born and raised. So when I hear Gary, man, I hear home, man, hometown.
Yeah, that's what's up. So then take me back. If you was born and raised, take me back. What was it like growing up here in Gary?
Very tight-knit. Everybody knew your family, knew who you was. With my old man being in the sports and basketball, everybody knew who he was. Mom went to work, so she was pretty popular. So growing up in Gary, man, we watched out after each other. You know what I mean? It was family oriented, and everybody looked after one another. So just being in sports, my life consisted of year-round sports, then going to school, then hopping right back in the AAU, then hopping in, playing football with the Steelers. So it was love, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. So you was consistently doing things, staying active.
Man, all the time. Like we had biddy growing up, so we would start out playing biddy. We start out playing AAU in the summer. Then you go into biddy, then you go on to school basketball. Then as soon as school over with, you go back into AAU, you go back into biddy. And then I had picked up football probably around 11 or 12. So what's that? That's a fall sport. So back in when we did have a little break with basketball, I was back into playing football, man. I was out there on the gridiron.
Okay. So then you grew up in a two-parent household then. You came up with two parents in the household.
Yep. Kim Ray, Marvin Ray, man, they looked after me, gave me everything I needed to be successful in life. So I give them all the gratitude in the world, man, for being the man I am today.
Yeah, and that's major when we say bridging the gap. When we talk about communities and households, because we got a lot of kids. When you're being a coach and dealing with different kids that's growing up in a one-parent household, you got the one parent trying to hold everything together. So that's major, because then you know what it takes as a coach. Sometimes it goes past the court to stretch out, even being a mentor, helping the kids stay focused with one parent in the household.
Nah, man, definitely, and growing up, what I mean, some friends got both parents there, some just got one that's with their auntie and uncle. So we raised up in these circumstances, and I was just fortunate enough to have both my parents there. And like I said, Gary, it's a small community, so we all looked after each other. Right here in this very house, man, a lot of us was raised in this house. If I eat, my friends and teammates gonna eat. If I go to their crib, all of us gonna wake up and we gonna get a biscuit and sausage and grits. Like we all was helping out and feeding each other, and our parents was great at looking after all of us together as we was growing up. So I like to think that's a big part of the reason that we successful. So just being in coaching and being a director and different things of that nature, being around these kids, we understand what they're going through and where they're coming from. So we just try to give them the same opportunities we had.
Yeah, that's big and major. Like I say, it's a major thing to me about bridging the gap. Like you say, a village to raise kids and everything. So it takes a village. So yeah, it's a
Yep,
major thing.
yep,
I
yep.
understand that. But yeah, I'm gonna say a name, Marv Ray,
Mm-hmm.
Marv Ray Falcons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Take me
Yeah,
back
the
to the
GOAT.
beginning. How did that start and come about?
That's the GOAT, man. That's the legend, man. We started right on what's that, 19th Avenue at Tolliston. It's the Boys and Girls Club now, Biddy Basketball, man. And that's what the Falcons, it was just the Gary Falcons at first. And we was terrible starting out. You know, we was shooting on the wrong rim and couldn't dribble the basketball. We was terrible, man. But by the time we got 11, 12 years old, we became something special. And we just kept getting better, man, taking the show on the road, going global, man, playing in different states and playing against great competition, future NBA players, NFL players. And, you know, I appreciate him for that program for us coming up because it definitely gave us something positive to focus on. And, you know, 20 years later, you know, some of us as coaches and doing all different type of things in the world, business owners. So it's special, man. That was a special time.
Yeah. So then tell me a little bit about Mama Ray. Because it's a lot of times where the light don't get shined on, where they don't get their flowers or their appreciation when it comes to teen moms.
Yeah. Man, the moms is the backbone. They do all the work. You know, they do all the cooking, the making snacks for the road trip. They picking up the Gatorade, the ice, the water. And that's what moms did. You know, she rubbing the boo-boos, your ankle hurting. She going to bat for you. You know, when you come home sore, she telling my old man, like, hey, you ain't practicing too hard. You them boys a day or two off. You know, she was one of the only ones that can kind of get through to them. So moms, man, she raised us all, man. Like all my brothers, I call them my brothers. Everybody I played ball with, I call them my brothers. So, and that's how she treated them. Like, you know, she was one of their own. And even their parents, you know what I mean? They treated me like I was one of their own. So, you know, mom's definitely, she was mama best. She the definition of that for sure.
Yeah, that's what's up. Now I heard a statement before, and that statement was, if you put that falcon on your chest, that falcon represents something. That falcon represents winning. How did that come about? Like some people don't understand. They may just see when it's shining, when you're winning, they don't understand what you had to go through to get there.
Yeah. Man, winning means so much more than just a game though. You know what I mean? Like basketball reflects life so much. You know, if you made a mistake on the court, you put your head down. You know, my old man used to explain to us, like, if you're gonna do that on the court, you're gonna do that in real life. You know what I mean? You fail a test, you probably failed it because you ain't study for it. Yeah. You know what I mean? You probably lost the game because you ain't practiced hard enough. So that's the win in itself. Coming to practice, being on time, going the hardest you can go. That's a win in itself. Everything else after that gonna follow. You know what I mean? You put the work in now, you're gonna reap the benefits. You know, like I said, it took us years, you know what I mean, to get. I remember when we first started, we could hit water if we fell out of a boat. You know what I mean? So now it's like years later, you know, you putting that repetition, that work. That's what we explain to our kids. Like, you know, I try not to put too much pressure on them, but you know, the coaches and the guys I got around, you know, they know what Falcons represent, so they gonna push them. You know what I mean? Till they can't be pushed no more. So that's I think that was Tyree. You probably heard that quote from, man. He a basketball fanatic. He love the kids, and he gonna push them. You know what I mean? Till they can't be pushed no more. You know what I mean? And at the same time, he also understand that they kids, so they still gonna have fun. You know, but at the same time, understand that we just ain't out here, you know, for recreation, just for fun. We want to win games too.
Yeah. See, let's bring it back up for a moment to now. One day, I was sitting back and got a call from you. I think you was on your way back from out of town. And when you called me, it was basically like, it's that time. You had your mind made up and set what you wanted to do. And it was like that call over bringing the Marv Ray Falcons back. when was the last time someone wore a Marbury Falcon jersey?
Man, we just hit 2022. I graduated high school in 2010. So I probably started in '06. It had to be like '05, man. '05, '04. Since a Falcon uniform hit that jersey. Gary Falcons, Marbury Falcons. It was like '05, man, for real. And shout out one of our coaches, Marcus Ford. He put the bug in my ear, not necessarily to do the Marbury Falcons, but we was just at school, around a bunch of kids, you know what I mean, predominantly middle school and elementary kids, and it was like, man, what you gonna do? And I was like, man, I just kind of wanted to sit back and, direct things a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was in the chill mode. I was gonna travel and just watch games and, and just take a year off and enjoy life. But, he kind of pushed me. I'm like, all right, well, if we're gonna do something, we're gonna do it the right way. And I had kind of been wanting to do something, in my old man name. I was just waiting on the perfect time. And quite honestly, being around those kids every day, it's like, okay, they do need an outlet. So, I called a couple guys, Key Van, a bunch of guys that just been reaching out over the past years. Like, man, what we gonna do an AAU program or start this and start that, and then coaching, it's gonna be hard. If you coach a high school basketball, trying to navigate all of those things can be difficult. And I was probably, 27, 28 when I first started coaching. So it was like a perfect timing, man. You had reached out over the years and, you got some young ones. So I'm like, man, why not? Let's go ahead and get to it.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, for real. I felt, I had some decent guys around me, and we had the kids right there in front of us, and they weren't doing nothing but going home, playing the game, playing the PlayStation, or doing whatever they be doing. So I'm like, nah, let's go ahead and get them out the crib, make it happen. We had our first, I think, we put it out there on Facebook like November 1st, maybe. We had tryouts like that next 2 weeks. We had like 150 kids in there. And it was crazy from that point. So we still getting kids, we still going strong. And it's just a good thing to see, man. Them kids, you see it every day at practice or, out there on Sundays playing in the rocking ball tournament, man. They having the time of their life.
Yeah, it's amazing for me, to see something like that because also I think you got the only originally from Gary, AAU program probably running in Gary right now. I think if I'm not mistaken, I must say that again. Yeah. Everyone else is either started from somewhere else. So I think Marbury Falcons is the only one that's currently running right now, probably that's originally from Gary.
Right. If I ain't mistaken, I know we got 94. We got a bunch of teams in the region. 94, I want to say, is stationed out of Portage. You got Haywood doing his thing. And they all these different programs, Indy Premier, they got kids from everywhere. But I think our program is stationed in Gary, practicing Gary. Most of our kids are from Gary. When we starting to see kids from Portage and Maryville and different other little cities come out. So that's inspiring in itself too, seeing that it has gotten out that far. So all these programs, man, I take my hats off to them. I actually coached with Haywood. Your boy was on there this past summer, so he got a good thing running over there. So, I mean, it just feels good, though, to be, from Gary, stationed from Gary, doing the Gary program, but also accepting kids outside of the city is dope. And it's kind of like what the city been needing, along with a biddy league, man. I think that might be up in works next because we have so many kids from third, second grade, all the way to high school. It's like, man, these kids really need a outlet, somewhere to go, for them 2-3 hours. They just able to get out the house and do something productive. You know what I mean? They watch Steph Curry all the time. It's like this dude, like really seeing the younger kids, I'm really starting to get, I'll be hearing all the time, like, man, Steph changed the game. Nah, when you go watch these youngsters play, you really see it because everybody want to shoot a three. It amazes me because they can't. The basketball bigger than them.
Yeah,
they throwing up 30-footers, man. They be killing me, man.
that's what I really like about it and enjoy, like, watching the growth of them. You got kids that started that couldn't dribble, now they could dribble some. And they all out there just having fun, win or lose. They're really out there just having fun and learning at the same time how to play the game. And also, being able to keep some of these kids out of the neighborhoods doing wrong and keep them in the gym as much as we can, after school and different things. So like that's big and major to me. So when you brought me on board, I really like to say, I like to say to you, I really appreciate that, because that's something I like to look at myself as saying that I'm about. So honestly.
Yeah. No, for me, it was a no-brainer. Like, you was doing so much work. Even when I was at Lighthouse, you was picking kids up and you was dropping kids off and bringing kids to my light. I didn't even know was real from my younger program, because your kids were still in like 8th, 7th, 8th grade. So you were still entwined with the middle school. So it was like pretty much natural. You feel me? How we picked up. For me, it was a no-brainer. I'm like, man, we got to bring Holmes in on this.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
For sure. That was a no-brainer.
So with Marv Ray, I think I looked it up. He's I believe 50% when it goes to state championship games. He's been there 4 times and collected 2.
Big jury. Yeah, man. Big jury. Yeah. He in a couple different classes too. I think they last championship, they was in 3A. So in the span of we joined the association, I want to say in 09. So from like 09 to I want to say 14, 15, he had been to 4 state championships, 3 different classes, won 1 in 1A, won 1 in 2A, and then in 3A, they lost in the run up to Greensburg, I believe. So yeah, he made history, man. That's why we call him the GOAT around here, man. The greatest of all time, man. We call him the GOAT.
Yeah, definitely. One of those Gary legends. Like I say, when I first heard about him, I had looked him up and I saw that they had his services in the Genesis Center, and I'm like the Genesis Center, and I'm like, that's not a normal thing. So like I compare that being from Chicago to the McCormick Place, which is our conventional center. So like ever since then, looking him up and hearing about him, I always just called him a Gary legend, even though I never had a chance to meet him.
Right. No, that was, man, it was a tragic death for us, but to see the love that came out there, I don't believe it was just from Theo Bowman. You know what I mean? I think that was truly from what he did, his work he had did through the years, from him being a Truster Award winner, because he was big playing ball himself. You know what I mean? He went to Purdue. Hold on, we got blacked out for a minute.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but he walked on at Purdue, played ball at Purdue 4 years, graduated with a Truster Award winning high school at Roosevelt. Like when he was coaching us, the work he was doing in the community, at one point in time, he had 3 AAU teams. You know what I mean? He had my age group. He had a younger age group with DeJuan Marrero, Jalen Arrington, Brandon Clark. Like all those kids played overseas. He had an older group with Deshaun Clay. Stevie that went to West Side. So he did so much work in the community that, he's man, he like a staple. He was a staple here in Gary. So when you look at how many kids he touched outside of Theo Bowman, a lot of these kids went to different schools, different high schools, but a lot of their game and their swagger they got from him. You know what I mean? So that in itself, that's gonna bring a lot of love to you.
Yeah, that's what's up. You don't get to hear about that all the time.
Yeah.
Just like, you hear about the championships, but you don't get to hear in detail like that about it. More of him helping out other kids from, that went to different schools.
Yeah, that was the dopest part to me. That was when I look back on it, like that was the dopest thing that he did. Like we went to Houston one year. We was 8th grade. Reekman was 7th grade. We was supposed to be highly talented. We had me, Silk, Tyree, X. We was all ranked, in the state, in the country. And then he had the 7th grade team he brought down to Houston too. And they end up winning the whole tournament. I think it was called the Hardwood Classic. I want to say they still have it. But he had, you know what I mean, like I said, he had like 4 or 5 kids go overseas and go play pro basketball. And then he had kids, a bunch of kids that went D1 on that team. So actually nobody from that team even came to Theo Bowman except for Marrero. So man, he had so many, like I said, man, he had so many different kids from the city that he had under his wing that went to the next level and played ball. It's amazing. Like, you know, if we was to map out a list of kids that he helped get into school, and we need to take the Bowman out of the equation, but a list of kids that he helped get into school that didn't go to Theo Bowman and that played under him or didn't even play under him, man, he
Yeah.
probably got 20, 30 plus names on that list, man.
Yeah, that's what's up.
For sure. And that's just kind of person he was. That's the type of connect he had. That's the type of pull he had with these schools. They trusted him. And then the type of connections, you know, he had just built over through the years. And he wasn't stingy with it. You know what I mean? He wanted to see everybody shine, you know, especially the kids. He wanted to see, you know, you think a kid good enough to go to school, you know, he know his people, they know him, they got a relationship. He can trust them to go off and do well at the next level. It was nothing for him to make a phone call for sure. I done sat with him, you know, in car rides, and he talking to a kid that go to Maryville, you know,
Yeah.
that a senior that go to Maryville ain't got no offer, but he know he can play. He plugging him in. A kid that go to Central, he gonna plug him. A kid that go to Roosevelt, you know, he gonna plug him. That's just the type of person he was.
Yeah, that's what's up. And that brings me to my next question for you. So far as we say the region out here,
Yes,
you got a
sir.
lot of players that's in the region, but just to name a few, you know, you got at Lighthouse, you got Shamar Mays, you got Bugs over there,
Mm-hmm.
2 seniors,
Mm-hmm.
outstanding players playing at a high
Mm-hmm.
level right now without any scholarship offers. You got Ashton Williams and you got DJ Moss at 21st playing at a high level right now when they're in their junior year without any scholarship offers. Got a lot of people who question that sometimes. When they get questioned, I see some people say there's no rush on it. I just like to have your thoughts on that. So far as them being in their final 2 years without any scholarship offers right now.
Mm-hmm. I know I'll start with Lighthouse, Mays, and Bud. I think actually it's crazy. I think Bud just picked up an offer from a JUCO. I think this happened probably a few days ago. I actually talked to him. He said this JUCO was talking to him heavy. And then I'm sure 21st Ashton and DJ are laying some for sure. Ashton, I want to say he went on the unofficial to Michigan State. So I'm pretty sure all these kids, you know, I was always told if it was good enough, they'll find you. So I'm pretty sure, you know what I mean, they'll land somewhere. They still young, they still got time. The biggest thing is, you know, keep putting in the work, staying humble in their academics. You know what I mean? And showing up. You know, you get a chance to get on that AAU circuit, you know, in front of those coaches that's sitting there. You know, you gotta have that same swagger you played with when you was in Gary, when you dropped that 25 to 30 points. You know, you go to Ohio or Milwaukee, you gotta put that same show on. You know, that's what they want to see. You got to stick out because we not like a Chicago or Indianapolis where coaches is just coming to sit in our gym because they 30 miles out. You know what I mean? We got IU Northwest, you know, right here in Gary, but you know, Nat, they got, you know, 4 or 5 colleges sitting right there, you know, in their metropolitan. So Chicago, they got 4 or 5 colleges sitting right there in their city. So maybe even more. You know, they can just walk into Simeon or Whitney Young. Not saying that, you know, they ain't being plugged by the coaches or whatever, but they got those opportunities. So in Gary, you know what I mean, you kind of behind the 8 ball already. And then you may have a little stigma to go along with you. And you can be a 3.5 student, never got in a little bit of trouble, but you're going to have that stigma with you. So when you get your opportunity to play, you know, against some big time players, big time competition, big time games, you got to show what you're worth.
Yeah, that's what's up. So what team right now you think that's in the region got what it takes to make it to the state championship this year?
Man,
just your opinion.
We're
gonna be biased with it.
Yeah. No, I like all the region teams. I'm not gonna. It's the first one come to my head because I'm looking at classes too. Because class basketball play a big difference. You look at 21st and 1A, they got the talent. You know what I mean? You look at their coaching staff, adding James Scott. That's a big piece. You know what I mean? That's a guy been down, excuse me, he been down the state. You know what I mean? As a player and a
Okay.
coach, and played college basketball. So he was our coach, assistant coach when we played at Ball.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah. So he gonna play a big part in them. I think that's a big addition. They'll definitely have a chance. I think, man, when you look at Lighthouse this year, you know, they got a lot of seniors. You know, seniority is big when you're trying to win, when you try to go through the tournament because they've been through a lot already.
Yeah.
So you look at their path through 3A. I definitely think they can come out the region. I think they can get their sectional, so they have a chance. And from what I'm hearing and seeing, I ain't been to a Chesterton game, but I believe they beat. Was that Carmel they beat?
It might
I
have
think
been.
they just. I think they like 13-0, 12-0. Then I think they went down and beat Carmel. So Carmel like top 5 in 4A. So
Yeah.
and then
Yeah. Carmel.
I think Chesterton may be 4A. I think they
Yeah, they
yeah,
4A. And
4A. Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw a minute ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, honestly. They might have had Carmel for a minute listed as number 1 this year in 4A, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. I may be wrong, but
Carmel
yeah, I think
always been
Chester
good
is
though.
still undefeated.
Carmel was good when I was in school. So they like a powerhouse. But yeah, no, they gonna be like I said, I wanna say I think I see Chesterton beat them. It was either online or something like that. So and then being at 13-0. I just been watching Chesterton build over the years though. When Marv here, we played them at Lighthouse. And
Yeah.
I'm like, man, Chesterton bigger than usual. Like when we was in school, they was big, athletic. I'm like, man, so now you seeing them, you know what I mean? They definitely I think they got a chance to go down there and make some noise.
Okay, yeah. Now I see people talking about the transfer situation too. Like, how do you feel
Yeah.
about that so far? Do you think that people, if you want to transfer, you should be allowed to just transfer without any release? Or do you feel that they should have to go through being released to play ball?
Man, it's difficult. At the end of the day, I say, let them transfer and release them. My whole thing is like, it's kind of like I look at it, okay, if you go to college, then let's say you transfer, you jump in all these different schools in college, it's kind of like what's that really teaching you? Because you got to kind of learn if you meet some adversity in college, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
just can't, that don't mean, or high school or anything, like you just can't jump. Sometimes it's best for you to just go through it.
Yeah.
If you come there, coach promise you, playing time, you got a senior in front of you, you ain't playing as a freshman, that's fine. You just may need to wait that out, a red shirt, or even try to beat out the senior. You don't get beat them out, that don't necessarily mean transfer. But I'm off. I'm off for just letting the kids play at the end of the day. It'd be different. It's so many different situations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, like when I got to college, I had walked on. I think I had a rare situation. I walked on to play football, recognized it wasn't the best business decision. Not just athletically, but business-wise, it wasn't a smart decision. So I went to play JUCO and then got scholarships after that and then just finished at IUN playing hooping. So like I said, everybody's position be a little bit different, man. It's just all about, what you making a move for. Why are you making this move?
Yeah.
So if you and your parents, y'all think the move valid, then hey, to each his own.
Yeah. I looked at the issue like for a minute, like when I think about it so far as like when you go to the NBA and you look at certain teams loading up. So I understand the issue kind of that way.
Yeah.
If you got some of the best players from this town trying to play all on one team.
Right. And some of those things, like, the game just done changed. These kids grow up playing AAU together from 7, 8 years old, so they want to go to high school together and play. Some of them even go to college and play together. And then once they leave college, you know, some of them are already projected to go to the NBA from high school. So
Yeah.
sometimes they know, like if you look at Sierra Canyon right now, you got Bronny and Amari playing.
Yeah.
Both of them probably know, you know, they probably know they're going to the NBA. They know they're going to the NBA.
Yeah.
So they're probably like,
Yeah. At this
man, what
point.
if we can get what if we get on the same team in the NBA? So you gotta imagine when you 16, 17 and you know you're going to the league and it's your homeboy, it's like, hey, why not load up? You know what I mean? I think it's good for competition, honestly, between, you know, the recruiting, the coaches, scouting, or whatever
Yeah.
it is. If they loaded over there, you need to go load up too. You know, everybody want to go where the powerhouse at. Then it become okay, because just because you go there don't mean you're gonna make the team. Or
Yeah.
you gonna
Yeah.
get, and that's what these kids gotta realize. You go over there to the powerhouse, understand it's a pecking order, most likely. The competition gonna be at the highest level. And you was the man over there, you know, playing what, 25 minutes a game, 30 minutes, probably the whole game. So now you playing 12, 15.
Yeah.
So you gotta accept that, like, man, do I want to risk scoring 25, 30 points to not scoring 10 points a game? And that's kind of what we had to deal with at Bowman playing together, because all us, you know, we had came from all us play, you know, some of us play SYF, some of us played Falcons. So we was all able to get our shine. And then we kind of got kids from SYF to come to the Falcons. So then it was like, okay, some of us went from that 15 points, 20 points a game to 10. Because
Yeah.
now everybody minutes getting chopped up. You ain't playing the whole game. You playing half a game, but you winning at the same time. So it's like, man, what we want to sacrifice? You know what I mean? We was winning with the Falcons too, but once we got, you know, Keyvan and Floyd, and we went to a whole nother level.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to get some of them on the next episode.
Man, you know, they get on here and you know, they're gonna get on here and they're gonna spill it, you know. They definitely gonna talk about it. Yeah.
So what do you feel is left on the table for you to accomplish? We got the multiple national championships on the AAU circuit. You got the head coaching under the resume. You got the Indiana State Championship. And you've been there twice too? Been to the state championship game twice?
No, we went once.
Once? Okay.
Yeah, we lost regionals my junior year. Freshman and sophomore year, we was going through the IHSAA preliminary. We had to go through you know, you got to sit out your 2 years, your probation year, not probation because you ain't get in trouble, but
yeah,
once you're in new school, you got to sit out, wait your 2-3 years so you actually can play in tournaments. So yeah, I went 1 for 2. But as far as accomplishments, man, me personally, I done did, you know, I played college ball. I mean, you know, ranked in the nation when I was a kid playing ball coming up. So for me, it's just like, you know, my whole thing is just giving back, being able to provide a structure and give these kids opportunities, man. Like, you know, like I said, I was kind of gonna sit back and chill, but you know, my guys got me back into it. Like, nah, man, we finna go ahead and take off with this thing. And being around the kids, it was like, okay, let's do it. And then just being in there with the younger group excite me. So for me, bro, I'm just trying to keep elevating, elevate our program, whether it's at Steel City or with the Falcons, and, you know, just provide opportunities, man, whether it's, you know, for the people around me or the kids. That's all it really is for me.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah,
so in closing, do you want to say anything else to the people, or let the people know anything else?
Man, if you got any kids that 3rd through 8th grade level, you know, reach out. We still taking kids in. Anybody interested in coaching too, you know what I mean? Good, trustworthy. You know, you interested, you know, working with the youth. You know, we need hands on, all hands on with this thing. So, you know, we just trying to provide the same opportunity we was, man. And I appreciate you again, bro, for having me coming on, man. I don't know who we gonna have on next episode or the next few, but I'll definitely be here, man. I think what you're doing is dope, bro. It's definitely gonna be, you know, a nice outlet for the coaches around the city, you know, in the region, in different sports, because I know you're probably gonna bring a different a couple guys from football to baseball, whatever it is.
Yeah,
It's gonna be it's
definitely.
gonna be a yeah, it's gonna be a dope outlet for real. It's a great idea.
Yeah, I like to really appreciate, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to interview you. This is a special moment to me. What was that? Last week, we just left Theo Bowman with my son playing his first varsity game in
Mm-hmm.
Theo Bowman. So that was like real special
Mm-hmm.
to us. We cherished that moment. So it's another
Yeah,
moment
yeah.
I'm going to cherish. Even being able to work with you, reaching out to me, having me, give me the opportunity to work with you, with the kids, you and your coaching staff and everything. Like, I feel that was very dope. I got introduced to you by Coach Mays. So take my hat off to Coach Mays. Hopefully we could get him on here too, along the way on one of the episodes. But yeah, it's just, it's real good feeling for me to do this with you.
No, I appreciate it, bro. The crazy part is you bringing that West Side of Bowman game up. I was just watching that at work today. I was
Oh
sitting
yeah.
there, it popped up on my screen, and I watched a couple of minutes of it. So I see Ant out there doing his thing, doing good, man. We got to get back in the gym this summer with him and Tristan, Lil Trent. We gonna get to it, man. We just trying to elevate them, get them to the next level, man. So they can get to college and take basketball as far as they want to take it, man. Because all these kids got it. They got it in them. They got the
Yeah.
coming from Gary and Chicago, wherever you from, you know what I mean? But I know for a fact, coming from this city, playing ball in this city, you got a different type of grind, you know what I mean? You got different aspirations, and our kids got all the heart in the world, all the talent. They just need that push and that outlet for them to be great. So we're gonna be on it, man. You're gonna be seeing us.
Yeah, we got to keep grinding with it, man. It's like 2 years and running since I got introduced to you. 2
Yeah,
years
man.
and
Shout
running. We
out.
got to keep going with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Shout out Mace. He introduced us, and ever since then, you a worker, so a lot of people they talk a good game, but you show up. You show up with a van full of kids, so and you be ready to work. So that's all. That's what it's all about, bro. I'll take my hat off to you for sure.
Yeah, likewise, man. I have to, get that right back to you. But yeah, but all right, we're gonna be
Yeah.
signing out. This is the first episode of Bridging the Gap podcast with my co-host, Coach Nick Moore, legendary, Gary Legend, Marv Ray Falcons. Be on the lookout.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Much love, bro. I appreciate you.
All right, till next time.
Yes, sir.